today is hopefully culminating a 3+ year project to get this new product into production. Now, what we've been doing here at 5 Star Butter since 2009 is what's called cut and wrap. We cut big blocks of butter into small pieces and then wrap those packages and distribute them to all the hotels on the strip. It's a very high-end, labor-intensive product. And a few years ago when I was on a vacation, every day I would go down to breakfast and they would have these little jelly jars on the table. 3 jars of jelly on the table at breakfast. And I thought to myself, why isn't one of those jars butter instead of jelly? And that's what this machine is gonna do. It came from China. It was in Chinese. Like, it took until today to get the computer controller to be in English. And these guys, they came here like almost a year ago and did like 1 day of work and said, oh, I can't go any further than that. And then I couldn't get them back until today. And now here they are, and hopefully this one day is gonna get me in production with a brand new product that's gonna revolutionize the whole butter industry. On the walls you see a lot of the legendary chefs of Las Vegas who have been or still are clients of 5 Star Butter Company. Starting with Chef Olivier Dubreuil, who was the executive chef of the entire Venetian and Palazzo Empire for many, many years. Then there's my good friend, Chef Vincent Pucelle, my brother. He was the executive chef of Oriole Restaurant for so many years and the hardest working chef in Vegas. The guy used to be running in the kitchen, running. Then we come over here to the legend. This is Jean-Louis Paladin. Jean-Louis Paladin was the first Michelin rated chef in America, and he had a restaurant at the Watergate Hotel in the 80s. In fact, he cooked Ronald Reagan's 80th birthday dinner at his restaurant in the Watergate Hotel. Here's another picture of Jean-Louis and his team. Now, Jean-Louis got cancer, and he had mentored so many chefs that they started throwing these benefit dinners for him, raising money for him to be able to afford his cancer treatments. When he died, there was a lot of money left over, and that money became the Jean-Louis Paladin Foundation, and I became the president of the Jean-Louis Paladin Foundation following Chef Eric Ripert.
This is a butter factory.
It is a butter factory, man. How you doing, Matt?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. What we're doing now, this is for a comedy routine that I'm developing, right? This is the first meeting that we've had in person. And in a couple of months, I'm gonna be, under his tutelage, I'm gonna be doing a 15-minute comedy set on Broadway in New York City at Caroline's.
3 months, yeah.
A lot of your students perform in your shows.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're all dressed very casually. Do you have to be casual to be a comedian, or can I wear a suit and tie?
You can. I mean, again, we try to wardrobe people for the character they bring to the stage.
Right.
And most of the time they bring in a casual character, even though they may have a very serious business.
Yep.
On stage they're pretty casual. So, you know, it is gonna, before you even say something, the audience has made big decisions about you, and part of it is based on how you look.
Yeah.
So, you know, but you're a suit guy. You know, I mean, you know, you're a suit guy. So I see you wearing a suit. I mean, you know, those are the kind of choices I make initially as I'm kind of forming what the character is going to be. However, you're a little bit of an anomaly in terms of you have many facets to yourself. I mean, you know, it's you were a cab driver at one point. You're a butter maker. You're the world's leading expert on public speaking. I mean, it's you got a 4.0 from Wharton Business School. I mean, there's probably 8 people on the planet walking around that have accomplished these things. So, you know, are you this serious guy? But I bet there's a whole nother side to you that we're going to bring out too. But I think you're more comfortable in a suit.
All right, here's the thing that concerns me, all right? I mean, I believe in coaching. I hired the best coach.
Sure.
I invested a lot of money, right? How do we know they're actually going to last?
Yeah, that's and I know they will, like, because I've done it. I've taught thousands of people, and I've done this so many times. But for you to actually have the confidence that they're going to laugh, that's gonna take time. I mean, that's because it's so far out of your comfort zone. You've made people laugh when they didn't see it coming. That's the beauty of doing it at speaking gigs. People go,
Right.
"Oh, I've got the funny part down." I go, "Let's assume one thing: you do not have the funny part down." Just because you made a bunch of people laugh at some event where the expectation wasn't funny.
Yeah.
They're thrilled when you even throw a little joke in there because it seems different than everything else. But when the expectation is funny, and we're not just doing this at Joe's Crab Shack, we're doing this at the most famous comedy club in the world. Caroline's on Broadway. I mean,
Exactly. Now, the funny thing is, I just listened to Kevin Hart's audio book, I Can't Make This Up. You know that book?
No.
13 hours of Kevin Hart, totally worth it. Totally worth it, man.
Wow,
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And in that book, he said that he did every stand-up comedy club in America, and he still didn't break through.
Yeah.
So he did a second tour and did every stand-up club in America, and he still didn't break through.
Yeah.
So he did a third tour, and he did every stand-up club in America, and he still didn't break through. And he did a fourth tour before he finally broke through and became an overnight success. It took him 17 years. Look, this goes exactly to what I have been following in my career for the past 5 years, ever since I heard Dan Kennedy at his super conference say that who you are is more important than what you actually do.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Yeah.
And nowhere is that more clearly stated than in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Because there's a million actors who are quote unquote more talented, better actors than Tom Cruise. But Tom Cruise gets all the money because he's Tom Cruise. And when you are trying to break into Hollywood, being a taxi driver is not helpful.
Not at all.
The greatest celebrity entrepreneur of all time, my friend's father, Arnold Kopelson, he told me you gotta have 10 balls in the air at all times because balls are gonna be falling down, balls are gonna be up in the air, balls are gonna be in your hand. In order to really be successful as an entrepreneur, you gotta have a lot of stuff going on. That's why I've got so much stuff. I got my existing butter stuff, I got my new butter product that I've been trying to get to market now for over 3 years. I've got my movie projects, I've got my intellectual properties, my books, videos, DVDs, my coaching programs, my live events. We're still building real estate. Allie and I are building our dream house in the Hollywood Hills. We have rental properties, all this stuff going on. And sometimes one area of business is making money and others are making less. Like right now, the butter business is making less than it used to. It used to be the butter business was my big money maker. Now it's seminars and events that's making me all the money. And I think about Arnold Kopelson and his advice to me about having all those balls in the air all the time. Entrepreneurship is, you're the guy spinning plates, juggling, always figuring it out. I'm still doing the income doubler. Even though I'm the leader of the income doubler, I forgot to do it one day. When I got accepted into the film festival, I was so excited. I was sending out press releases that night. Like, I don't know, I was a maniac. And I forgot all about the income doubler. And I missed one of my days of writing my mantra, so now I had to start all over again from day 91 and do the second mantra all over again. So I believe in the process. I know it works. I want to double my income again, and that's why I started all over to make sure I got it right. No screwing around. You got to do 90 consecutive days to get that mantra lodged into your brain. One of the reasons why I bring all my classes here to the Bellagio buffet is because the butter at the Bellagio buffet with the Bellagio B logo on it is mine. This is one of my products that I sell. This has been my product in this buffet for 12 years. And there it is. Can you see it? Distributed by 5 Star Butter Company. Those guys in the factory today, this is the second time they come out. The first time they came out was like 9-10 months ago. And it was like bloody murder. Getting them to give blood to come back here and do another day in the factory trying to get that up. Now they've switched out the computer mechanism, and hopefully they'll be able to get that thing to go, because that's a product that doesn't even exist, and that's what you really need as an entrepreneur. You need to have a unique position in the marketplace, or else they'll get something from someplace else. And right now there's nobody making butter in 1-ounce jars in the world. I invented that product. I have a patent pending on that product, and if I can get that machine line to run, I can really have a really nice breakthrough in butter. Now, notice that's how they're doing it right now, and I'm scrambling to find another manufacturer to do that for me. But I'm looking over here, and there's the jelly jar. So if they're willing to put these jars here, why wouldn't they take my butter jars and put them there instead of that? Hey Alan, thanks so much for calling back. I really appreciate it. I was reaching out to you because my documentary, Celebrity Entrepreneur, got accepted into the American Documentary Film Festival in Palm Springs at the end of March. And since we're going to be in Palm Springs, I was hoping maybe that Suzanne could come to the screening of the movie and that I could do an interview with her and maybe one more piece with her before Harvard, since she's already going to be speaking at our Harvard event this year in June. And then this way she could be in my sequel, which is going to be called Celebrity Entrepreneur Part 2, the musical. And since she's such a famous comedic actress, she could offer me wisdom, mentorship, words of advice about how to be funny, because I'm going to be doing a 15-minute set at Caroline's on Broadway at the end of this movie, and that's going to be the climax, and would love to have a cameo from her and maybe from Howard Stern and that kind of thing. Wow. Hey, how are you doing? Great to see you, man. Nice to see you. All right. Hello there.
How are you going? Good to see you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. They have to bond with you. They have to be bonded to you. How do you bond with a person? There are 2 quick ways to bond with a person in 5 minutes. How do you bond with a person in 5 minutes? Number 1, you each have a gun, and you walk into a battlefield together and kill a bunch of enemy soldiers. That'll bond you to that person. You'll be high-fiving, oh man, you're my brother, I love you, man. I love you forever, you saved my life. That's bonding. Unfortunately, we don't all have the opportunity to experience that. The costume is the most difficult thing of all to figure out and master. And there's, you know, like I've already spent a lot of time on this. I'm going to show you more. I'm going to show you, who's ever heard of, who remembers the girl who wore the Make America Great Donald Trump dress to the Grammys? Remember that? Yes. The girl who wore the Make America Great Donald Trump dress to the Grammys, she got a whole career off that one dress. But that was not the first time she went to the Grammys and tried to make something out of nothing with a costume. The first time she went to the Grammys, she wore a sheer, see-through, naked dress. Didn't work. The second time she went to the Grammys, from the same costume designer. I've done a lot of research on this. Why? Because costume is the whole key, see? So I've done a lot of research. The second dress she wore to the Grammys was by the same designer. It was made out of orange construction fencing tape. It was like a orange plastic mesh dress with nothing underneath. That one didn't work. It was the third time she wore a dress by that same designer to the Grammys, and it said, "Trump, make America great again." Now she has a career.
You mind sharing how you did yours?
How'd I get that? I paid a lot of money to a charity. I donated a fortune of money to a charity. I donated a new car to a charity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Hey man, what good's having a lot of money if you don't use it?
That's
Right?
exactly right.
It is a pay-to-play world. Veronica Gray says every magazine cover you have to pay for.
Yeah.
That's what she says. And she knows. She is the supermodel activist of the decade. She knows all kinds of stuff like that. And she's been on a lot of magazine covers and pays for them all. Because it's worth it. Ultimately, this is about you having a great time. Ultimately, this whole experience is about you learning how to get to a place of power on TV where you can go on a show and feel like you're so in the zone, so in your power, so in control, that you can take the risks and know it's no longer a risk, it's the right thing.
Now, what's the rule, ladies? In Vegas at night, maybe you get extra hoary with the outfit. Your dress is too tight. Your nipples are almost coming out. Your shoes hurt. You feel like crap, but you look hot. Isn't that the rule? Right? All right. I was here one time for a play, extra hoary with the outfit, and I was on the elevator waiting for my floor. This man gets on. Instead of facing the door like a normal man, he faces me the whole time. You know why? He thought I was a hooker. He was shopping. So I must have looked good. Okay.
All right, well, I thought that was really fun and funny.
Yeah.
I particularly like, that black fat chick comic. She was hysterical.
Jackie Fabulous. I know
Jackie
her.
Fabulous.
Actually, I know her 8 years ago. She was probably doing comedy just a year, and to see how far she's come, and Vegas is tough. I mean, the thing about these audiences are they come from everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, not all over the world.
Yeah.
All over the country, and then most of the guys come here, the female comedian, whoever it is, and they just do their act. And they don't realize that, they're in Vegas also. Everything about this town is geared towards scrambling up the mind. And then you put them in this dark room and then they have to focus. Like, that's the one thing we're going to learn about is what do I know about the audience? How can I beat it before I get up there? Which, again, is a lot of your science, too.
Yeah.
And then, what do they all have in common? They're in Las Vegas, so they're all gambling. So, there's a rule with comedy. You do the jokes you have to do to get the jokes you want to do. Because if you start off with the easy stuff, then you do the smart stuff, then you do the dirty stuff. Because if you do the dirty stuff first, that's all they're going to want. And if you do the smart stuff first, hey, it's not a think tank in there. So, you're going to lose half the audience. Just the economics of this gig, so you know. The MC in this thing gets $50 a show, even though it's Las Vegas. The guy came all the way, now he's doing 14 shows, so he's making $700. The middle might get $75 a show, and the headliner, because it's a comedy club. I mean, that's why I became a Las Vegas headliner and not a comedy club headliner, because in there you're getting $200 a show. If you're lucky, $200 a show.
Yeah. And I like how they say you've seen him in the movie Goodfellas.
Yeah, he was in it for about 40 seconds,
Right?
He was in it for about 40 seconds, but it's
You gotta have something.
you got to have a credit.
You gotta
and
have
that's-
something.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then maybe one day we'll get you here to perform in Las Vegas. I mean, this was my dream. When I was 10 years old, I knew at 3 years old this is what I wanted to do. 10 years old, my parents take me to Vegas. See my first comedy show, Joan Rivers and Shecky Green at the Riviera. Knew at 10 years old that's what I wanted to do in my life. Get my own show in Las Vegas. 35 years later, I got my own show in the same room that I saw the show when I was 10 years old.
Wow.
2 years later, they blow up the casino. But that's the part of the story you got to block out. Otherwise, a beautiful tale about a boy in his dream.
To dream.
Absolutely. I told you I was Sancho
impossible
Panza.
dream. To live the impossible life. To score the unscorable sequel. This is my quest to follow that
star.
Star.
No matter how hopeless,
No matter how far.
we fight for the right without question or shit. We were doing so well.